So about 14 hours ago I posted a video regarding damage fall off and my ideas behind that in how to balance all the weapons a bit more, excluding snipers. I'm going to link that below because I thought it was a really great idea and I'd love to hear some thoughts and some ideas, some suggestions and all those good things. Now my name's Dratlow44, so welcome back to the channel and thank you for actually stopping by to the video. Now this one is slightly different. So basically what I was going to talk about is to do with map design in Season 6. Now it is kind of a two-parter and it links in with limited time modes and things like that as well, which I'm going to be sort of posting within the next 1 or 2 days or so. Now before I get into the content, of course, do remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. So okay, regarding Season 6, they have made some positive changes. Respawn have listened to community feedback, which I really like. They love getting the community involved in things, which I think is really great. They don't do it perfectly by any means. There are some errors and mistakes and things that they can improve on, but as an overall thing, they're getting better. Now, like with anything with the game, when you play the same two maps over and over, Kings Canyon and World's Edge, there's going to be some split opinions on which map they feel is better. Some people probably like both, but hey, it's all opinion. Now, personally myself, I much prefer Kings Canyon. I tend to do better on the map. I tend to prefer the layout, the design, there's more cover. And it's a smaller map, so you can kind of find people a lot easier, whereas I find World's Edge is just that little bit bigger. And a lot of my friends have kind of said the same thing. So it got me to thinking, limited time modes, they have been a bit lax. I did some concept ideas a while back during Season 5 to sort of like added ideas that they could add into the game that wouldn't be maybe that complex, would be quite fun to kind of do. Again, if you are interested, check that out. It is on my channel as well. But with this one, what I thought of is that, we could add something called map design. Now, map design is something that originally I saw in a game called TimeSplitters 2. So I'd love to say it was an original idea. I've come up with it myself, but realistically, a lot of ideas are taken from other things. Now, back in the days of TimeSplitters 2, that was a game on the PlayStation 2. I used to play it with my friend Viper, and he'll remember that as well as me. It was a very fun and quirky game, a first-person shoot-'em-up, and probably my favourite game for a very long time. Now, for those who don't know it, check it out. It's a really interesting game, in actual fact. You probably can't play it anymore, and I'm kind of hoping that one day they bring back a remaster, but hey, that's for another day. But what they did do within that game is that they had a map design element, which allowed sort of like normal gamers to kind of be quite inventive. The gaming company themselves kind of added different like blocks, buildings, outside elements, so it kind of added certain things that they'd want within the map. But then what they would do is that the actual map could be then designed. It'd be like a map simulator or a map designer. You'd go onto the program within the game, and then what you'd do is that of course you would design your own map and sort of add different things. And then what they could do is that they could pick kind of like the ones that they like the most out of say the top 8, and then they could put it to the community, and the community then could vote as to which one they personally preferred and thought was the best. Now they do something similar in Map Designer in Fortnite, but they don't actually kind of put it out there for sort of like for you to use. They just use it, you kind of build around and things like that. Well, obviously there's no building in Apex, so that kind of goes out the window. But what I thought would be is that it would be a really cool idea, an interesting idea, to have it for sort of like used for limited time mode. So it's a smaller arena. It's not massive. It's not as big as Kings Canyon or World's Edge. But what you could do is that there are some pretty damn creative people out there that would actually be able to kind of come up with some excellent map ideas and some interesting things. And then you add that with some sort of limited time mode that maybe, again, they could put to the community for some suggestions. And then the best suggestions, of course, the ones that are voted the most and voted the best kind of could be possibly used. And I just thought it'd be really, really awesome. So, you could have kind of like a smaller arena, like I suppose probably the sort of size of the last Storm Circle, for example. And then you could have like limited time modes within that, where you're fighting each other. It could either be all against all or team orientated or something like that. Just something to kind of freshen it up, because at the end of the day in Apex Legends, as much as I love this game, sometimes especially when you play it a lot, it does get very repetitious, and it gets a bit frustrating if you're not doing very well, you're getting killed all the time, you're having a bad run of games, It's also enjoyable if you're doing well, but of course, like I say, it is very hard to remain consistent because the skill level of the players has kind of increased. But I think with limited time modes, it adds a new dimension to it. I know that they have done some, but I'm not being funny, but the limited time modes that they have provided so far, some of them aren't bad, but some of them, they really aren't great. So, I mean, what do you think with that? I mean, would this add something new to the game? Would it freshen it up? What are your thoughts and suggestions? I'd love to sort of hear your ideas in the comments below. Now, regarding and going back to map design, I mean, there is one other game that I know of that still does that, and that actually is a phone game called Brawl Stars. And what they do is that they have community voting. They allow actually sort of like people to design maps. And I mean, wouldn't it be an amazing sort of gamer experience to basically design a map on this kind of like map design program, and then to see it used in a limited time mode? I mean, wouldn't that be absolutely amazing? Because I mean, like I say, there are some very creative and very amazing kind of designers or people that have got more skills than they think. Because let's face it, you know, sometimes you don't know what skills you have until actually you kind of try something, and you might be, you know, sort of 16, 17, suddenly you kind of like find that you've got an adept and amazing skill for sort of designing, and that might kind of, you know, help in that way. You might be a bit older and you just might be good at that sort of thing anyway, you know. And there's other people who just are inventive because, like with anything, they've played a lot of games, they like the kind of this particular style of map, they like the more enclosed kind of map. Some other people might like the open, but you know, they could do some interesting designs, and I think it would really add something to the kind of dimension of Apex Legends. Imagine actually being able to sort of like log on every different week or every couple of weeks and have a different map to kind of play on that was designed by the players. I mean, even if they didn't use them always for limited time modes and they just used it for, say, you know, part of the game on a kind of a rotation basis, would it be amazing? Now, obviously, I know that there's probably some inner complications with, would the gaming company, you know, be able to do it free without actually having to pay the designers, because they'd get the acclaim, they'd obviously would, you know, acknowledge X name whoever designed it sort of thing, or would they have to pay a small amount? But you know, I mean, I guess on a resume, if they were looking for sort of like gamer design elements or getting into that kind of thing, and they were able to put, well, I designed a map for Apex Legends, look at this, wouldn't that be just an absolute... They chose this, the community voted for this. I thought it would be a really kind of amazing idea. So, I mean, like I say, I mean, it's just something that I thought of. I'm kind of coming up with different ideas of how I would like to see Apex Legends kind of formulate. It's a game that they've said is going to be around for a long time and they want it to grow, which I do. I'm very interested. I love this game. I enjoy playing it a lot, and I'd love to see new things come to it. And I think that that would just be something that would just blow open so many more possibilities. You could have a limited time mode with different weapons, different concepts, which is what I'm going to go into in part 2. So yeah, so what do you guys think of that idea? Would that be something that you would like to see? Would that interest you? Would you just prefer to play it on just World's Edge or Kings Canyon? Don't forget, you would have your community say if this went ahead, and you'd actually be able to vote if Respawn, you know, took this on board and actually decided to go ahead with it. But, you know, I'd love to see some comments, some more ideas, some more suggestions, all those things in the comments below would be amazing. But if you did like the video, please like on the video, really helps me out, and if you do want to subscribe, it would be amazing as well. But otherwise, remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. I shall see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.